Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. If you like all things true crime, if you like it delivered in a peaceful, tranquil manner, if you like it clear and concise without drama, then I highly recommend you subscribe. And if you like what you hear, please smash the like button. It's a free way you can help. And now, without further ado, let's dig in. All of Sebastian Rogers' parents were in court in Sumner County, Tennessee, yesterday, Tuesday, but the hearing was not about the continued search for the missing child. Seth Rogers, Katie Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot were all in the courtroom yesterday for a hearing with YouTuber Andra Griffin, who goes by the name of Bullhorn Betty. Bullhorn Betty stands accused of harassing and stalking Sebastian's mother and step-grandparents. And apparently inside the courtroom, the two sides were split. On one side was Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers, and on the other side sat Katie and Chris Proudfoot along with the Bowersox. That would be Chris Proudfoot's mother and his stepfather, Terry Bowersox. Although the only person that I saw on camera from the set of parents and grandparents was Chris Proudfoot, who looks very different with a clean-shaven face. Now, this hearing was about orders of protection filed by the Proudfoots and also the Bowersox. And in the original temporary order of protection, Terry Bowersox wrote that Andra Griffin, or Bullhorn Betty as we know her, goes online and incites others to create mayhem in our lives and our family. She encourages violence by posting pictures of our home and address online. Terry Bowersox's spouse, Maddie, added in her order of protection that Bullhorn Betty, quote, threatened to purchase a gun in Tennessee and bring that gun to my home in order to get answers. End quote. If that's true, that is not good, Bullhorn Betty. Here's what Katie Proudfoot wrote in her temporary order of protection. She wrote that her goal is to have Bullhorn Betty stop encouraging others to stalk on her behalf and encourage others to spread false allegations / misinformation in regards to my missing son, Sebastian Rogers, end quote. Now, all three orders of protection are active, and they ban Bullhorn Betty from having any contact with them, directly or indirectly. And the court documents claim that Bullhorn Betty violated the three separate orders of protection. So the three subpoenas that forced Betty into court claim that she violated the terms of the order in August by going on her YouTube live stream and talking about the family. Bullhorn Betty allegedly said in two separate live streams that she planned to sue the Proudfoots and the Bowersox. Guys, it's expensive to sue people. Where is Bullhorn Betty getting all this money? Is that coming from Seth Rogers' GoFundMe? Is it coming from TikTok Tony, who seems to always have cash in his pockets? Figuratively speaking, one of Bullhorn Betty's supporters, as you probably know, is Seth Rogers, and he has said that Bullhorn Betty is only trying to help find his son. Here's what Seth said, quote, "We have a detective that was apt about having somebody arrested that is using their voice and their platform to get my son's name out there, and they want to infringe upon her First Amendment rights. I am a deputy sheriff. That person is a deputy sheriff. Constitution is what we are supposed to stand and back upon." That is not grammatically correct, but oh well. You know, not trample upon it. It really upsets me that they are limiting one person's voice, yet that person's voice is helping find Sebastian. They are not. She doesn't break down from pressure. End quote. Seth added that he hopes that Bullhorn Betty's First Amendment rights are addressed in court. Now, this brief hearing yesterday ended with the judge saying that matters about all of this would be heard on Thursday, October 10th. And of course, TikTok Tony Mathis had to get a word in. He is Seth Rogers' spokesperson. He said, quote, "We are very happy with where this case is headed. The great thing about America is that the burden of proof is on the petitioner, not on the respondent. We know the facts. She did not ever step on private property. She did not ever follow or harass anybody. And those facts will come out in court." End quote. Seth Rogers then told News 2 that it was frustrating to sit in a courtroom while his son is still missing. Here's what Seth is quoted as saying, "Oh, it is extremely frustrating that I have to come here to support somebody, which I don't mind coming to support somebody that is supporting my goal of finding my son. But the fact that I have to come here because 4 people, I'm sorry, want to put a restraining order against somebody who's just trying to find my son, and yet Sebastian is supposed to be her son as well." End quote. Seth also added that he feels there's been a lack of communication and effort from law enforcement in the search for his son. Time is being wasted that could be looking for my son. Sumner County is stating they have 1 detective on this case, and it has been the same detective on this case since the very beginning. He doesn't work around the clock. He doesn't work on weekends. I do, though, because he is my son. 1 detective on the case isn't enough. Sumner County, they are not doing what needs to be done." End quote. So Seth threw Katie under the bus there for not searching, for not being vocal about Sebastian and trying to find him. Obviously, the relationship between Seth Rogers and the Proudfoots is not good. And then we have Seth also attacking the local police department out there in Sumner County. That likely isn't making him any friends out there. I do understand his frustration, though, but I don't think it helps when he criticizes law enforcement. Do you guys think that Bullhorn Betty has gone too far with this case, if what the Proudfoots and the Bowersox are saying? Or do you agree with Seth Rogers that her First Amendment rights are being violated? Personally, I think if she did mention a weapon of any sort to threaten somebody, then for me that goes too far. But I do agree with Seth that all this stuff is just drama and a waste of time, and it's not moving the case forward in terms of finding Sebastian. I wonder if Chris Proudfoot is loving this because he is able to take out all his frustration at every true crime creator, TikToker, YouTuber, you name it, and he's able to focus all that frustration and anger on Bullhorn Betty. I do feel like Chris Proudfoot is petty and he holds grudges and he's going to go after somebody if he can, and he will be ruthless. So the next hearing is scheduled for October 10th. Bullhorn Betty will be back in court. I'm sure Chris Proudfoot will be there as well, likely Katie too, and Seth Rogers and TikTok Tony. Maybe the Bowersox as well. See you next time on Bed Crime Stories.